Today, I'm going to teach you a powerful practice called reflective listening, where it came from, why it's so effective, and exactly how to do it step by step so that every conversation can become a space where both people feel seen, heard, held, and understood. I'm Dr. Serafina Alcala, and I've been teaching relationship skills for almost a decade, guiding hundreds of clients through processes of redesigning all of their relationships. And I don't just teach this, I live it too. Reflective listening is one of the practices that has completely transformed my most important relationships, bringing more connection, safety, and intimacy into my life. I've used it with my own partner in moments of conflict and moments of care, and it's changed the way that we show up for each other. I've seen over and over that when people learn this skill, everything changes. Arguments get shorter, defenses drop, misunderstandings dissolve, and intimacy grows. So, let's get started. Have you ever tried to tell someone how you feel and then it just bounced off like they weren't really hearing you? Or maybe you've been on the other side. Someone's upset, and no matter what you say, it just seems to make things worse. Well, if you've ever wished for a way to turn down the drama and turn up the connection, reflective listening is the key. Reflective listening comes from the work of psychologist Carl Rogers, who revolutionized therapy back in the 1940s and 1950s. He discovered that deep change happens when people feel fully heard and understood without judgment or interruption. Reflective listening became a cornerstone of humanistic therapy, and it later spread into parenting, leadership, conflict resolution, and communication training. Because it works. This is more than just a communication tool. It's a practice of emotional attunement. When you reflect back what someone says, you signal to their nervous system, I'm here. I'm listening. You matter. You're safe. That one signal does three things. It calms the stress response, and their body no longer has to fight to be heard. It creates connection. The other person feels understood, which is often all we really want anyway. And it opens the door to collaboration. Instead of spiraling into conflict, you can actually solve the problem together. Reflective listening is also a pattern interrupt. So if you've been arguing, defending, shutting down, this simple ritual breaks that cycle. It retrains your nervous system and your emotions to have a different kind of conversation. And because it's structured, it gives you a way to practice and repeat until a new habit is formed. So, here's your step-by-step guide for reflective listening, and this part is really important. For your first several tries, use this script word for word. Why? Because we're retraining your brain. We're retraining your emotions and your nervous system to do something new. When people go off script, their old habits and defenses slip back in, and the conversation can spiral into the same arguments you've had 100 times before. So, this practice is designed to create a safe container for both people. It's a pattern interrupt that signals something different is happening. We can relax now. We can trust this process. If you think about it, most of us already have a script. We argue, we defend, we shut down, we repeat the same words over and over. And reflective listening is just replacing that old destructive script with a new one that leads somewhere healing. For this exercise today, one person is the space holder, that's person A, and the other person is the receiver, person B. Step 1. Person A invites person B to share and asks, tell me what's going on, or how are you feeling about this? And then person A just listens with open-hearted curiosity. Step 2. When person B answers, then person A will reflect and repeat back exactly what they heard as accurately as possible using these exact words. What I hear you saying is, and then fill in the blank. Now remember, this is not a conversation, this is not a dialogue, this isn't the right time to chat about the answer or give an opinion. It's just person A being curious about person B's experience and using this tool to understand person B as deeply as possible. Sometimes person A isn't listening or didn't understand what person B was saying, Or maybe person B wasn't able to articulate their feelings clearly. Or sometimes your neural pathways for listening and understanding just haven't been fully developed yet. But don't worry, this practice can hold you in all of that. Because in step 3, person A will double check for accuracy and emotional attunement and say, did I get that right? If person B says no, no problem, person A just says, thanks, what did I miss? And then try again until person B confirms that they feel heard and that person A repeated what they said back accurately. In step 4, person A asks, is there anything else? This gives person B the opportunity to say everything they needed to feel like they are fully heard and understood without being rushed. Continue steps 1 through 4 until person B feels complete. Step 5 is the validation step. This is where person A really tries to understand where person B is coming from and communicate that whatever person A is feeling, it's okay. That might sound something like, it makes sense that you would feel this emotion given the context of what's going on. Thank you so much for telling me. Then, step 6 is optional depending on the situation. Person A can offer support without trying to fix or change anything. Remember, this isn't time to problem solve. It's just a chance for deeper listening, support, and connection. That might sound something like, besides understanding and caring about what you're going through, is there anything that you need from me right now? Then step 7 is also optional depending on the situation. This is where you can switch roles so person A can be heard and understood too. Person A can ask, would you be willing to hear and understand me in the same way for a few minutes? Now, while you're doing this practice, the goal is simple, to help the other person feel fully heard and understood. Problem solving can come later after both people feel safe and connected. So there you have it, the reflective listening practice. It's simple, it doesn't take long, and it repatterns the way you listen and emotionally attune to all the people that you communicate with. This practice can be used to improve your relationships with your family, your friends, your kids, your coworkers, your romantic partner, and even strangers. Let me show you what this looks like in real life with a few examples from my own relationships. The first time I realized how powerful reflective listening could be was when I had a partner who didn't know what to do when I wasn't feeling well. If I told him I didn't feel good, he would just get uncomfortable and then he would just disappear. And I assumed it was because he was annoyed that I was sick. But when I asked him about it, he told me that he actually wanted to help, but he didn't know how, so he felt like he was failing me. And that's why he would leave, because he felt helpless and impotent. I told him that what I really needed was to feel like he heard me, understood me, and cared. So he started practicing reflective listening with me. And whenever I said that I didn't feel good, he'd go through the steps and add in step 6 and say, besides understanding and caring about what you're going through, is there anything else I can do to help you feel better? This simple shift was a game changer for both of us. I felt so seen, heard, and supported, and he no longer felt like a failure. He had a clear way to show up for me, and it deepened our connection in so many ways. Another place reflective listening changed everything was in our conflict patterns. My partner and I used to fight a lot. Our nervous systems would get overwhelmed, and small arguments would blow up into days of drama and disconnection. Our counselor told us something that changed our lives. She said, you guys aren't even really fighting about the thing. You're fighting because you both have a deep need to feel seen, heard, and understood. She challenged us to use reflective listening the very next time we fought. And when we did, everything shifted. Instead of defending ourselves or blaming each other, we slowed way down and we focused on listening and reflecting. Our fights dissolved almost instantly. Both of our nervous systems felt safer and more held, and over time, this practice became a foundation for trust and intimacy in our relationship. And it doesn't just work in romantic partnerships. My partner used to dread phone calls with his mom because she would repeat herself constantly. He'd hang up feeling irritated and resentful, and sometimes he would avoid talking to her altogether. I suggested that maybe she kept repeating herself because she didn't feel heard, so he decided to try reflective listening with her. Every time she said something, he repeated it back to her and asked, "Did I get that right? And then, is there anything else?" It was so fascinating. She hadn't even realized that she was repeating herself until she heard her words mirrored back to her. Within one or two conversations, the pattern completely shifted. She stopped repeating herself, the tension between them melted away, and now their conversations feel warmer, lighter, and more connected. Reflective listening turned a source of frustration into a place of sweetness and understanding. So, reflective listening is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to shift the base pattern in your communication. If your old pattern was arguing, avoiding, or shutting down, reflective listening creates a new pattern where both people feel heard, respected, and emotionally safe. When you change that one pattern, the whole relational fractal shifts. There's more trust, more ease, and more love. So here's my invitation. Try reflective listening with someone this week: a partner, a friend, a child, or a coworker. Just follow the steps, follow the script, and notice what happens. Does the energy in the room shift? Do you feel more connected? Does the conversation feel calmer, clearer, or more productive? After you've tried it, come back and tell me, what did you notice? How did it feel to be heard or to truly hear someone else? Drop a comment below and share your experience. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and follow for more tools to help you consciously design all of your relationships, starting with the one that you have with yourself. See you next time.